Right, and for more on this, we will be later joined by Yonela Sinqu, and she will be telling us more about, some of the issues that they have as NGOs. And she joins us now. Yonela, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. I mean, you have complained about how, media covers, the lives of sex workers and the work that they do. Perhaps maybe just give us an insight in terms of what it is exactly that you deem as problematic.
Hi, Mbali, and thanks to the listeners. Currently, we have seen a lot of pictures which depict sex workers in a very demeaning way, depicting poverty, depicting Black uneducated women. We know we've had instances of our members even complaining to the movement that they were dressed in tights and they were given skirts instead by members of the media, so that they can fuel the stereotype that sex workers only wear miniskirts.
And maybe are you saying that this is really not a true reflection of of sex workers, or are you talking mainly about the dignity here of sex workers in South Africa?
This is not truly a reflection of individuals in the sex work trade, because we have male sex workers who do not wear miniskirts.
Yeah.
We have trans sex workers who also do not wear miniskirts. And majority of women in the sex work trade would rather wear a miniskirt or something shorter in the summer. But in winter, you would find individuals wearing jeans. And not everyone operating in the streets is comfortable wearing a miniskirt.
And how demeaning is this to, those who are in this industry?
It is very demeaning, and it fuels a stereotype that if you are wearing anything short, you can be deemed as a sex worker. This now endangers women in general who are walking on the street, because you could be a student, you could be an ordinary woman walking on the street, but because you have something on that is deemed as pretty short, then you could be profiled as a sex worker.
Are you reaching out to media stakeholders in this regard to try and, educate the media in terms of how they cover such stories?
Yes, we are. We have written to some media houses, and fortunately the SABC has been very welcoming in trying to understand the statement that not everyone wearing a miniskirt is indeed a sex worker, and not all sex workers wear miniskirts. And we have seen that some media houses are even using old age archived footage, which then represents sex workers. And that is not a true reflection of what the sex work trade looks like in this day and age.
And perhaps maybe paint us a picture in terms of, how the industry has transformed.
The industry has transformed in many ways because other people have ventured into online trade. Other people older sex workers. For instance, we have in our movement members who are in their 40s and their 50s who do not wear miniskirts. So the industry has really transformed, and the face of sex work has also really transformed from just that one woman who was stereotyped with just red lips, chipped nail polish, and very funky braids. You get very professional looking individuals that are in the trade. Some are even students at university.
And of course, I mean, you are saying that this is not just for the safety of just, those in the sex worker industry, but it's really to protect everyone in society.
Precisely, because if we start deeming anyone that wears something short or someone wearing certain stockings, what we used to call fishnet stockings, as someone in the sex work trade, that then says that individuals who prefer to wear fishnet stockings and who prefer to wear shorter wear is now then deemed as a sex worker, and that is not a true reflection of the industry. And this is also very limiting to the men who are actually engaging in the trade.
And how does this also, the stereotype that we are used to, how does it affect the ability of sex workers to conduct their work with dignity?
It is very, it affects everyone in a very negative manner, because now even the police profile the women on the street. And even when someone is found dead, then automatically, because of how that person is dressed, then that person is profiled as a sex worker. And you find that this is not even a sex worker. This could have been just a woman coming from a club, or a woman who is a student somewhere, but because of the weather in wherever they are, could be that it was hot and they prefer to wear something short, and then they are then tagged as a sex worker, which then affects the family as well.
And let's also come to the conversation around the legality here of sex work in the country. I mean, you as an organization has also reached out to government that, 30 years later of democracy, sex work is still criminalized in this country. How far is your fight with government in terms of trying to legalize this industry?
It has been 30 years that we have been calling for the decriminalization of sex work. Sex work is still very much criminalized in the country. Both the buyer and the seller are criminalized. And with now the 7th administration, we hope that things could be sped up, because the last time we had a conversation, it was with the 6th administration, and the bill was currently with the state law advisor. And we hope by next year at least, for the latest, that this bill would actually be passed into law after it has been regulated with the advice from the state law advisor.
And do you think that there is some sort of political will to have sex work legalized in the country?
Well, it's a very confusing situation, because everyone, when during their manifestos and during their campaigning, everyone was calling for the decriminalization of sex work. A couple of parties had shown distaste to it. However, the majority of parties popular with youth and other older generations, they had shown that with the decriminalization of sex work, we can address gender-based violence, we can address the scourge of HIV and AIDS. So it is alarming that now everyone is just so quiet now that the campaigning is done and people are sitting with their positions.
All right, Yonela, thank you so much for your time and for that insight. That is Yonela Sinqu. She is the spokesperson for Sisonke National Sex Workers Movement.